Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and I'm bringing you Next War, World War III. So this will be turn 5, part 2, I believe. And when we met last, I had just finished up the air superiority step, so I believe it's contested pretty much everywhere. And I had yet to do the naval, so rolling for control of all the different naval areas. One thing that I did change around is these Canadians. The Canadians have intervened at level 3. So that basically means they are supplying, well, they can supply ground forces. I don't think Canada has any ground forces. They do have aircraft, which are right there. So let's look. Yeah, they've got a couple, but they haven't shown up on the reinforcement chart. I don't know if they do or not, but whatever. I'll eventually bring in some Canadian ground forces. But I originally had these Canadian aircraft in Guam. I think it would make sense if the Canadian aircraft actually started in the U.S. because the U.S. and Canada are pretty much, the same landmass, right? So then I'll end up moving them from the U.S. probably to Japan, and then from Japan to wherever. So there'll be some rebasing. So it's still going to take a little bit to get the Canadian Air Forces into play. But we did see control. So once Japan intervenes at level 2 or higher, the East Sea, which is the Sea of Japan. I don't like the way they did the two separate names, because sometimes in some of the player aids it says like the East Sea, or it just says the Sea of Japan. It doesn't say both, so you're like, which one is that? So it's, it can get a little confusing. It basically makes you have to do an extra check, right, to make sure it's the same sea zone or whatever. So just a little thing. But anyway, so let's see. The Spratly Islands are now completely Allied controlled, so that changed. Let's see what else. The Gulf of Tonkin is Allied controlled. I probably need to use the same. That's a Vietnamese marker, but it's still Allied, right? I probably need to start using just the same. I've been using the Taiwan markers, so I guess that's probably just to keep continuity going and be consistent. I'll just use Taiwan markers as the Allied markers. Let's see here. The Ryukyus are now Allied controlled. The East China Sea / Yellow Sea, that's the other case where I don't like the double naming convention, became Allied controlled, but China still controls the inshore boxes. And I think that's it. So that's it for sea control. I believe now we will move on to the second operation forces phase, which will occur on all 3. Taiwan, I think, will be both. It'll be both China and Taiwan, because it's a contested turn. So during the second operation forces phase, special operation forces phase, if it's contested, both sides do their special forces stuff. Same will happen for Korea, and then over in Vietnam, it'll just be the Allies that do it. So when you have the initiative, you get to do some things first before the other side gets to do it. That, and it makes sense, right? Hey, the momentum is in our favor, so we get to go first on a couple of things. So that's kind of the way that works. But yeah, there you have it. Just a little admin thing. I decided to move it just made sense, right? Where do the Canadians start? Well, Canada's attached to the United States, right? It's North America, so they'll start in the U.S. basing box, and then they'll rebase to someplace. Probably Japan is kind of where I'm going to end up seeing the need for them at the moment. But we'll be back in a little bit after I get done taking care of the special forces. Special forces phase has been conducted in Taiwan. So each side did a detection track. The U.S. was successful. The Chinese were not. I think the Chinese only had 2 special forces units left here in Taiwan, and both of them did not survive their missions. So I believe, if I'm looking at it, just kind of glancing over it, I don't think the Chinese have any more special forces for Taiwan. They can always, in fact, they might be out. I'll have to look. Maybe some of them migrated over to Taiwan, but it could mean that the Chinese don't have any more special forces left. So the only way they can get them is reinforcements. So that was that. The U.S. targeted the port, naval holding box in China, unsuccessfully. Japanese special forces tried to hit that bridge again, unsuccessfully. We tried to. There is a headquarters that has been detected. We tried to target it unsuccessfully, and the Chinese tried to target a headquarters that's right there, and it was unsuccessful. So I think the only success we had was just reducing the detection track. You can't even see that. Was reducing the detection track, and that was it. We have 2 Vietnamese attempts on the SAM track. I believe those get a +1. So what we'll do is the blue die will be the attempt and the red die will be the survivability. So we'll just roll twice. Actually, you know what? I think you can only target one of those each, or with one raid. So we'll do the SAM track first. So that is an 8 with a survivability of 3. So that is basically nothing happens. And the other roll will be the detection track. So that is a 5 and a 9. So the 9 is, I don't think he survived that one. And, yep. So the 5 the 5 is not good either. So basically, one of these guys does not. So we'll go used, eliminated. And now let's go over to Korea. Let me get my book real quick, and then I will be back. And we can do this live. Well, kind of. All right, so it looks like we're going to do a targeting mission here. We're going to do a detection, and if that succeeds, then we'll do the targeting on that MSU. We're going to do a detection on a supply depot. I think this is going to be a targeting mission on a headquarters right there. And then it looks like the North Koreans are going to try and do a detection and then a subsequent targeting mission on that THAAD missile battery. Oh, and we also have detection and SAM tracks. So black will be the mission and red will be the survivability. So we'll just go here. We'll start here with the UK. So that was a +1. So that's a 6. You did survive. All right. That is a good hit and a survive. So what is the detection? That's a 2. So that is a -1. So we'll go -1 down on the detection track. Both of these survived. So they go to the used box. We will go here for the targeting mission. We need to roll a 4 or less. So that is successful. Here we go. So U.S. Special Forces give a -2 targeting. And you go in the used box. So that is done. Now we'll go here. We'll do the detection first. If the detection fails, then that automatically fails. So that is a 4 and a 1. Yes, that is successful. And that guy goes to the used box. Now let's do the targeting mission. 7 and 7, so U.S. Special Forces, I believe, get a -3. Yep, so you are safe. But that mission failed. That's done. Let's do the THAAD down here. So let's go ahead and roll on the detection. Basically, we need a 4 or lower. And it looks like, so that was an 8, and that was a 2. I didn't move the dice, so that is successful, but the Special Forces guys did not survive. They were discovered. Let's see if we can target now. We need a 4 or lower. So that guy was good. So there we go. Anticipate airstrikes on that THAAD missile battery. That's all I can say about that. Now look at these guys. They fell over. Oh no, must have been an earthquake down there. All right, I think one of those is dead. I don't remember. So used and eliminated. We'll grab that. What else do we have? Let's see if we can detect, or not, excuse me, not detect, target that guy. Nope, and luckily it was US, so -3, so that's a 6, so he does survive. Put that there. We'll try to detect that supply depot right there. We're trying to knock out the North Korean supply, man. That's key to this. 6 is not good enough, but he does survive. And I got this big nasty stack of Special Forces over there. I think that's it. Looks like that is it for this map. So let's go over to Vietnam. All right, let's try to avoid the glare. We're going to try to do a raid on this installation. We're going to try to detect headquarters. We already did the ADF tracks. So yeah, there's only four guys here. So black will be mission, gray will be survivability. So let's do the installation. That is jungle, so it's going to be a little bit easier. So basically we need a 6 or lower. 6 or lower. Yep, 6 or lower. Jungle terrain is very favorable towards Special Forces type operations. And we got a 6. They did survive. So that is going to be, that's probably just a strike 1. Yeah, I need to grab some tokens here. All right, so we got the strike 1. You immediately, with Special Forces, you immediately roll for collateral damage. So let's look here. So we are a strike on an airbase, so we are basically in this column. So if we roll a 3 or lower, so we got a 0, so that's about the best results that we can get. So the Chinese will take a step loss to an air unit, and they will lose an air mobile point. And then I think we have helo. There's no helo there, so that doesn't. If there was a helo on that installation, we would also roll that too. But there is not. So do not forget. Let's see if we can target that guy. I need a 4 lower. Got a 0, and he did not survive. So that's a Filipino Special Forces. So he did not make it. All right, so here goes. There's our targeting marker. This goes here and here, or we'll remove those. This guy did not make it. That guy did. All right, so for the collateral damage, we will take a step loss from this guy, because these guys really aren't that great. So doesn't kill it. And then we lose an air mobile point. Here we go, right there. So that air mobile point is permanently lost. So we go right there. And that'll do it. So let's look. We have 3 Special Forces lost here, and we have 4 left. lost half of our special forces for Vietnam and its allies. North Korea is not doing well at all. They've got one left. Bunch here. I don't think we've lost. Okay, that is. I thought those were special forces. Those are cyber. So we've got everything here in Korea. Yep, everything in Korea. The U.S. has lost a lot of cyber capability, but whatever. Our nerds that sit in basements aren't really that good. China has lost, I think, everything in Taiwan. Taiwan's still got 3 left. They've lost half their special forces. It's time to start recruiting more. So that will do it for the second special forces phase, and now we will do first strike phase. I got to see. Let me see here. First strike, if it's an initiative thing or not. Nope, it is not. So everybody gets to do strikes. So I got to do strikes for three theaters. So what I'll probably do is allocate them all and then kind of show you where they're going, and then we'll resolve them. All right, missiles have been allocated, and you can also do cyber. Cyber is a supplement 1 thing. So basically, if the attack is successful, then it reduces the detection level temporarily by 2. So basically, for example, China, let's do it that way. So Taiwan is attempting to hit the detection track, and this is China's, they're trying to, this is their counter cyber warfare. So same thing for that one. And I did that also. It's going to be China is trying to get Vietnam's, and then the French are going to try to counter it, because Vietnam doesn't have any counters, but, historically France has kind of had a presence in Indochina. That's what it was called back during the Vietnam War, French Indochina. So France is stepping in. 2 missiles on this detection track, 2 missiles on that detection track. We are going to try to hit this AMP with a cruise missile. And yeah, that's it. So let's get to rolling. All right, so detection tracks are going to be a 3 or lower. Let me just make sure there are not. Yeah, so the Chinese will get a +1 because I guess their missiles aren't as successful. So let's do the Chinese first. So +1 to that, need a 3 or lower. So that is a 1. So that reduces the detection track by 1. So now you go to there. All right, so that's it. I don't know if I rolled on the right one. Now we'll do these missiles. Actually, you know what? Hold on. So, oops, there we go. So that was those, because I had to add the +1 to it. So now we'll try to hit the Chinese, 3 or better. And that is a 1 as well. So, yep, that reduces that one by 1. So there we go. Now we will do the cyber. So this is the Taiwan attack. So basically it is attack, defense, survivability. So you subtract the defense from the attack. So 6 minus 5 is +1. Then let's get to that chart. So you kind of look here. So this is where are we at? Strike phase. So whatever the number is, so it's a 1. So if we roll a 3 or lower, the cyber attack is successful. So let's roll. The cyber attack is not successful. Now we'll do survivability. So we have to roll. We have to roll less than a 5. So blue will be Taiwan, red will be China. 3 and 2, both of those survive. So that means they are used. So used and used. So there we go. That's how cyber works. So now the Chinese are going to attack. 6 minus 6 is 0. So we go down here to the 0 column. So if we roll a 0, then the attack is successful. And we rolled a 7, so it is not. Let's do survivability. So that one does not. Neither one of those survive. So it looks like some nerd special forces are out of a job, right? They don't actually, they're not putting their lives at risk. They're just sitting behind a computer hacking. So their computer probably got fried. Let's try to hit this AMP over here. So basically we need to roll a 5 or less. Let me make sure there are no DRMs. Well, we have, you know what? We have to do CWiz first. So that will be AAA. I believe an AMP, a Chinese AMP is a 2. That is a AAA of 2. The only thing, we got to roll a 0. So that's a 9. That's not good enough. So that missile makes it through. He is point detected, so that's -1. And it's a cruise missile, so that's a +1. So that evens out. So whatever, it's just a straight die roll. We got a 7. I do not think that is good enough. That is not good enough. So that cruise missile did nothing. All right, let's go over to Korea. All right, here in Korea, I think we're going to try to hit this MSU with a cruise missile, the U.S. The North Koreans, all they have are Scuds, and they're really not using them until this THAAD missile battery is knocked out. So one cruise missile, and then we're going to try to hit the tracks. The North Koreans only have one cyber capability left. So it looks like the South Koreans are going to try to hit the detection track. And now, see, this is where it gets kind of interesting, right? So if we look here, because that cyber is unopposed, it is strike. The attack value is a 5. So on a 7 or lower, it is successful. So we'll roll, and we got a 0. So that temporarily reduces it by 2. Hopefully I can remember that. So I don't know what to do here. I don't know if I've done the cyber on the detection tracks a whole lot, so hopefully I can remember that. And then it looks like 5 minus 5 is 0, so that is not successful. Oh, did I do survivability on that guy? I don't think so. So that guy didn't survive. We'll flip that over to hopefully remind me that he did not survive. So roll a 6 or less. That's a 5, so he goes to the used box. And then we got to roll a 5 or less. That guy did not survive. Okay. Let's do the MSU. So that is cruise missile in, is that Highland Woods? That's cruise missile in Highland. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So basically a 6 or lower. We got a 4. That is a strike 1. Let's make sure. Yeah, it looks like just a strike 1. So Here we go. That's a little bit of something there. Oh, let's go. We'll take care of Vietnam, but we have to do the detection track. Oh. All right, so let's do here. We're only doing the Vietnamese. So that is a 5 minus 5. That's a 0. So that was unsuccessful. So red to red, blue to blue. So that did not survive. That one did. So this Chinese goes there. And where was that French one? I don't know. We'll put it in the used box. It doesn't really matter. So with special forces, right? So if I have special forces allocated to Taiwan, they can only operate in Taiwan. Then once you use it, if you place the used marker in a different place, then next turn you can use it there. But cyber, it doesn't matter where you're at, right? You can be sitting on your couch in Arizona, doing a cyber attack in North Korea. So honestly, it doesn't matter where I place those. All right, let's do Vietnam here. All right, so in Vietnam, these are ballistic missiles, not cruise missiles. So the Chinese are going to try to pound this airbase some more. We're going to try to destroy that airfield. We're going to try to hit that airfield some more. So I think it's 4 attacks. All right, let's see. What is that? That is flat. So basically a 5 or lower. A 0 and an 8. So the 0, that is a destroyed result. Hey, look at that. I got lucky and happened to have a destroyed marker there. So I will need to do collateral damage. We'll go ahead and roll for that guy. That's a 3 flat. That's a strike 1. Oh, that's already a strike 2, so that turns into destroyed. And then this last guy over here in the swamp. That's a 3. So that's another strike 1, so that turns into a strike 2. So, you know what? I have to get... I need to make sure I get collaterals on these. Collateral strike 2, because the collateral damage is rolled at the end of the strike phase, I believe. Collateral destroyed. There we go. That'll help me remember that, hopefully. Probably not. All right, that is it for... That's it for the missile portion of the strike phase. Now I believe we're going to do aircraft, so I will be back when I decide what's going on. It's going to be a little bit more reserved in Korea and in Taiwan because air superiority is contested. So, I mean, there's plenty of fighters these guys don't have a lot of quality, so that's basically what they have. So it's almost 2 to 1. 2 to 1 in the Allies' favor here. It's about 1 to 1 here. And of course, Vietnam doesn't have any. So basically, this is also Vietnam as well. So China has to divide its stuff between Vietnam and Taiwan now. So that's going to be interesting. Did China overstretch its capabilities? We will soon find out. But let me figure out what we're going to do as far as strikes go. All right, I just got done allocating all helicopter strikes and air strikes. And man, did it take a while because both sides are starting to accumulate quite the air forces. Well, at least the Allies are. It's a little bit easier for the Chinese and the the North Koreans, but the Allies are starting to get quite a big air force or forces. So hopefully, let's see if I can remember all this. So WWIII will attempt on that. We'll try to hit the detection track first. I always like trying to do the detection track just because that's your first roll, right? So if you can't detect them, you can't shoot them out of the sky. So that's kind of the way I look at it. I mean, it is, you could look at it either way as far as, do I hit the SAMs first? Because who cares if they can get detected? But with the detection track also is like, it allows for the interceptors to scramble as well. So I kind of look at, let's hit the detection tracks first, or prioritize them, and then go for the SAM and AAA. So just my 2 cents. All right, let's see if I can remember what's going on here. So it looks like we're going to try to strike these Marines. We've allocated some, anytime you see the guy canted off to the back, that's the escort. I guess the escort should be in front, but whatever. So dedicated escort, we're going to try to take this guy out. We're going to do a helo strike and an airstrike on, are we going to, I don't remember if I'm going to put that all on one unit, or I'll probably divide it, probably do one on one, one on the other. So let's see, and then I'll move over here in a second. So we're going to try to do 2 helo strikes on this guy. We're going to do a helo strike on, or not a helo strike, we're going to send in some F-15s on this headquarters right here. Then we have got a helo strike and a normal strike on this stack. We'll probably, again, I think we'll probably divide it up between the units there. We're going to try to take this bridge out again. The Allies are. The Allies have also sent in naval aircraft to try to hit that AMF. So we're going to try to degrade their ability, the Chinese ability, to get ground forces onto the island of Taiwan. I know there's already an AMF on the turn track, which has been sunk. So we're going to continue on with that. So we're going to see if we can take out that AMF right there. All right, again, trying to hit that bridge. Another Chinese airstrike on this weakened unit here. And I think that is it. That looks like it's it for Taiwan. Let's go over to Korea. There's going to be, you know what? There's not going to be any allied Vietnam. Because if you look at the map, let's walk over to the map here. So Vietnam's only got one aircraft that they can perform any missions. In Vietnam, this is the operational map on Vietnam. So it's right next to China. So short range, but I know medium range has a range of 1. So anything medium range can reach the operational Vietnam map. But if you look, so we've got allies in Taiwan, so that would be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So anything in Taiwan can't reach the operational map. Anything in Japan obviously can't reach Vietnam. These guys are in the Indian Ocean, so until they get to the Spratlys, they can't reach Vietnam. The Philippines, they have one guy, which is a medium range, so it could make it to the South China Sea, but it can't make it to... So basically the only thing the Allies have that can reach Vietnam would be unlimited range aircraft, which are basically their bombers and stuff. So I don't think that I did. Once we get over to the Vietnam map, then I'll be able to look. But I'm pretty sure I didn't allocate anything allied to the Vietnam map. And then over here, we got a ton of wild weasels. Hopefully we get better results this time than we did last time. So we're really trying to take out the air defense network for North Korea. We're going to try to interdict the road here. So hopefully we can kind of slow down the North Korean advance between interdiction and supply. We're going to send a B-52 bomber to try to blow up that MSU. Hopefully we'll get lucky. Oh, let's see. Interdiction, or because we're trying to stop the push that way. So if we can interdict that, we can basically almost stop the push between being out of supply and interdiction. Let's see, what else? Helo strike on one of the units there. I think they're all mechanized infantry. So we're going to do a helo strike. The North Koreans are going to try to hit this guy here. This is probably one of the better units that South Korea has. We're going to try to do a helo strike on that unit. Helo strike, helo strike. Those are allied helo strikes. All on these guys, the 6 efficiency guys. So I think there's 2 6 efficiency guys there. The North Koreans are going to try to helo strike that amp with the Marines on board. Going to try to airstrike that airbase. Airstrike that airbase. Airstrike the THAAD missile battery. And let me see. I think the last thing is we're going to try to airstrike that chemical weapons depot right there. So we'll see what happens. Because the North Koreans have already shown that they're willing to use chemical weapons. So if we can take one of those out, then that'll give them less capability. They'll still have plenty because we haven't taken out any of them. But we're going to try to reduce their capability. And then here in Vietnam, it looks like we're going to airstrike this guy. And then airstrike, airstrike. So that is it, man. It took a long time for me to think about what was going where. I mean, it's a little bit easier for the Allies because there is no air superiority there. No interceptors. I think what see what happened is because the North Koreans assigned first, they wanted to make sure that some of these airstrikes got through. So that's why they assigned escorts. And basically by assigning escorts, they used up their pool, so there's nothing for them to intercept with. So basically the Allies, they get to fly in for free without fear of being intercepted. So that's why these missions really need to work. So maybe I should put one of them on the detection just so that they can't be detected. That's a thought. Actually, you know what? It's already downgraded 2 steps because of the cyber warfare. So I think that's why I made that decision. But there you have it. That's a pre-resolution step on all the strikes. So there's definitely going to be a lot of ordnance being dropped throughout the Pacific Theater of Operations. So I'll be back in a bit. All right, I just resolved the wild weasels. Unfortunately, this guy was early detected. The Chinese had 2 units left here, 2 planes left in the air superiority box, so they decided to send one in, and they managed to turn that wild weasel back around. So unfortunately, nothing happened here on the air defense track in Taiwan. But it looks like we got lucky here that cyber warfare really helped by reducing the detection track. So neither mission was detected. We reduced the SAM track by 2, and we reduced the detection track by another 1. But the detection track is at a 6, but for this turn only, it is at a 4 because of the hackers that have hacked into the North Korean air defense network. So that's kind of the result that I was looking for. I was hoping to get a little bit better, but this is definitely better than last turn. So ADF is done, or the Wild Weasel strikes are done. So I guess now we'll go on to, I think the Allies go first, but we'll go ahead and start doing the other strikes now. All right, ADF, man, whew, those Chinese, boy, they got some really good ADF. So let's see here. Everything was early detected because the AWACS advantage really makes a difference. So it's like a -3 to the detection roll because of AWACS alone. So everything was early detected. Fortunately, they only had 1 air superiority fighter left. They didn't commit it because all the U.S. planes are way better than their one plane. So they wisely decided to not scramble that jet to intercept. So basically everything just underwent SAM SAM fired. The only thing that underwent that had to go through AAA were the helicopters, because if it's a standoff strike, then there's no AAA. So right here, step loss but continued mission. These each got to have a +1 to the die roll. Nothing happened to this guy. He was able to, so I haven't resolved the strikes yet. This helicopter was aborted. The 2 strength helo strike was step lost but could continue mission. So there we go. So we'll go ahead and roll to find out what the results of all these strikes are. So what do we have? We have a strike 3 with a -1 for pilot skill. And that is a bridge, which is in flat. So it's a -1. Bridge is +2, so +1 to the die roll on the strike 3. Yep, I didn't. That's not surprising. I would like to say that I'm shocked by that result, but I'm not shocked by that result. Very rarely am I shocked by a bridge strike result. Let's see. We're trying to hit a naval unit here. So +1s to the roll. This one will be a 0 because of the pilot skill. This one will be a -1. The naval units get an additional -1 because, or the attacking a naval unit, if it's a naval air, then they get a -1 because I guess they're like, they train to attack ships. And he's point detected, so that's -2s. So that's -2s. So that'll be a -2, -3. So blue is -2, red is -3. That figures. Blue is -2, so that's a 2, and that's a 3. Well, let's see here. It's a naval unit. Wow, we had to roll really low to hit that. What are those? Those are strike 3s. Okay, so each one of those will be a strike 1. So that'll be a strike 2 on that amph. And he can, I believe, so he's going to retreat to the inshore box because that's where he was going to go anyway, because he's going to go back to the People's Republic of China and pick up more guys. So that really didn't, I mean, yeah, the strike sucks because now he's going to have to make the decision whether or not he wants to repair, but the retreat result was going to be something he did anyway, so no big deal there. All right, what do we got left? So that was that. We have a strike 5 against a headquarters in rough. No modifiers. What's his pilot skill? Pilot skill is -1. So that is a 3. That is a strike 1. All right, so strike 1 on that headquarters. Oops, there we go. So when you get a strike result, you always lose 1 capability. So boom, there we go. And then the last thing that we have, I want to say, is this helo strike on that. That's flat. Doesn't look like there were any. I don't think. It doesn't look like there are any ground unit in city, fortification, or jungle. Nope. I don't think there's any. No modifiers. So that's a 2. That's good. So that's a Hilo 1 in flat. And what do we roll? A 2. So that is a strike 1. Strike 1 on that guy. So that is it for the allies on this map. We'll go ahead and move over to Korea and start resolving stuff. Actually, we got to do ADF on those guys. But while I'm here, I probably should just do the Korean, or not the Koreans, the Chinese. All right, I've just resolved the Chinese. Actually, you know what? I forgot that one over there. So I've resolved all these. One thing I didn't do is I did the detection. I didn't do it at the local level for the helicopters. So he got reduced. One of these got reduced, so I unreduced him, and then I left the other results to stand, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, there weren't any results, favorable results, or maybe, I don't know. I should have used the local SAM and local AAA values for these guys, so I just unreduced him. But I don't think it was too favorable for these two helicopters anyway, so it's the least I could have done for them, right? Give them the benefit of the doubt. All right, let's see what happened. So we had some early detection. We went to some dogfight here because both of these are stealth. So the Chinese stealth ended up getting reduced. The American F-22 came out on top. Ended up getting a +1. This guy ended up getting hit by some SAM and flak probably, but was still able to put a strike 1 on that guy. This guy was aborted. So again, we had some air combat here. Nothing. This F-35 was not able to shoot down that J-11. The J-11 was not able to shoot down the F-35. So this guy makes it through. The helicopter had the +1. We were able to put a strike 1 marker on this guy after all that was said and done. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then right here, this helicopter took a crap ton of flak and AAA. This guy, nothing. He was able to just fly right through. Wasn't worried about interceptors. Wasn't worried about SAM or AAA, but still couldn't hit his target. So we're not able to put any strikes on this stack whatsoever between all that. And then this guy here, it looks like he's got a +2 roll. Is that just plain flat? That's plain flat. So +2, where's my die? Let's see what happens. So that's a 3 on the strike 3. So that ends up being a strike 1. Goes on that guy. So there we go. So Taiwan has been the strike phase. We still can do naval surface combat, I believe. Or naval bombardment. So we can still do naval bombardment. I'll do that when I'm done with Korea and Vietnam. But all airstrikes and helicopter strikes have been completed in Taiwan. So we'll move on to the next board. All right, so I have just wrapped up the detection phase, and I have concluded, for at least for the Allies, I have concluded the basically the ADF phase. So I don't think nobody was early detected, not on either side. So we had just some detection. So SAM fire gave this guy a +1. Luckily that B-52 made it through without anything going on. Managed to fly through. SAM fire got him a little bit. I don't think anything happened with that guy. Oh, actually, you know what? So here and... So the 2 detected Hilo strikes, they were shot down. Where's the other one? I have 3. Do I have... Oh, there's the Hilo strike 2. So that guy... Let me see, what was that? All right, so this one, it's a Hilo 2, so it would have had to have been the AH-64. So he took a step loss but can continue mission. This one here was destroyed. So actually, I only lost one helicopter. Where was the other one? The other one was right there. So I lost one helicopter out of the deal. And that was it. So let's go ahead and roll and see what kind of results we get. So we have a +1. Actually, it's a -1. So that is a strike 5 for interdiction with a -1. Strike 5 in Flatwoods with a -1. So that's a 6. So that is an interdiction 1 marker. I thought that was going to be a nothing. All right, interdiction 1 marker. Let's go ahead and roll that one. That one is Highland. That is a 6 strike rating. 4. Pilot skill is a -2, so that makes it a 2. So that is a strike 2 marker. Oh, wait, would you look at that? So it already has a strike 1 on it. So that basically means it's a strike 3, which I think is destroyed for an MSU because I don't think MSUs can take step losses. Yes, that MSU is eliminated. So that was exactly... That was exactly what the Allies wanted. That is really going to suck for the North Koreans. They don't have very good luck having any kind of supplies right there because if I'm not mistaken, that's where the original supply depot was. I think that goes in there. So, awesome. Let's go ahead and try to interdict that hex. Looks like a -1. So that's a 3... 5 on the Highland Woods. What did I say? It's a -1? Yeah, so it's a 3. So that's an interdiction 1 marker. All right. Okay, what else do we got? That one's been done. That one's been done. That one's been done. That's a Hilo 1 strike in flat or marsh. It's a 7. I don't think that's going to get me anything. Yep, that's not going to get me anything. So those two survive. That one's good. So one of them was there is a Cobra attack helicopter on that AMP, which you can use those. And then that one there. So those are Hilo 1s. What kind of terrain is that? This is one of the problems is the hexes are small. There's a lot of clutter in them. That is Rough Woods by the looks of it. Rough Woods Hilo 1. That's a 1. So that is a strike 1. Goes on, we'll put it on that armor unit right there. All right, and then this guy right here is going to attack that armor unit. That looks like that is Highland. So that's an 8. That'll be nothing. I think I've gotten everybody. I'm pretty sure. Oop, nope, I didn't do that interdiction right there. So we'll do that. That is Highland Woods. Highland Woods, that is a 5 strike rating, right? Yes, it's a 5 strike rating with a +1 because of the air defense fire. That's a 7. Yep, that air defense fire was just enough to make that ineffective. Had they not had that, I would have gotten an interdiction 1 on that. So that goes there. And then the last thing we need to do is, can you see it way over here? It's that B-1 bomber. That is flat. And that is a 6 strike rating with a -2 to the die roll. So we should, I say this now, we should be able to have some decent results here. And that is the best result we could possibly get. So that is an X, which is destroyed. Destroyed is a good thing. So I think that's 5 victory points for destroying chemical weapons. All right, let's see. Yep, capture or destroy. So that's 5 victory points. Where are we at? VPs this turn, so that's 3. That goes to 8. And I think we also reduce the chem points by 1, I think. So let me look that up real quick. Nope, it's every 2 chemical weapons sites that are destroyed. So I need to destroy 1 more and they'll lose a point. That's going to be tough, but hey, as long as we have the air advantage, I think I will continue to try that. That was the easiest site to hit because it was in flat terrain. The rest of them, I believe, are in rough. But that was definitely good. Now that the North Koreans see that I'm going for their chem sites, they might actually start using more of them. But again, when they use them, I gain VP. The Allies, the Allies gain VPs when the North Koreans use chemical weapons. So, let's see. What do we have? I think we have to. I'll clean up the Allies stuff, and then we have. We have the North Koreans that I have to resolve. All right, we've just wrapped up. We've wrapped up DPRK. So we managed to do a strike 1 on the THAAD missile battery that's there between these guys here. They still undergo, well, they undergo AAA because it's non-standoff, but nothing happens because the AAA is not strong enough to even get even if you get an abort result, it doesn't do anything. You have to get a destroyed result. Early ADF, so between SAM and AAA, we destroyed a plane and we caused a little bit of a problem with that one, and he wasn't able to hit his target. Let's see here. We were able to do a strike 1 on Osan Air Base with this strike package. This helo was aborted, and I decided to not press on, so he's going to fly back home. And then that helo right there also was not able to do anything to that unit. So that is it. All we have left. Whew, man, some of these phases are getting long, but that's playing 3 games. So I have Vietnam, and then I'll be done. Well, I have, I think, naval fire that I have to do, but I'm probably going to wrap it up as soon as I'm done with Vietnam. I'm going to wrap it up for the day, I think. All right, I've just conducted, it was easy in Vietnam. There's only not a whole lot of fighters, but so I was able to get a strike 1 result on this infantry unit. This guy was detected. SAM fire didn't get to him, though. Actually, I think I don't remember. So anyway, I got a strike 1 result on that guy there, and this guy was aborted. So I think that's what the early was. I don't remember, but I'm going to say it was aborted. And everybody else was just a flown. So that'll do it. All I have to do is still have to do, I think, naval strikes. And then I'll probably be done. But that's all I'm going to do for the day. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks.